Okay, so Shkoya, forgot about that. Okay, so again, we're up to Yush now, right? Out of the seven called Gehinnom, Yush. Perik Zevar Lashon Horah Shavai De Mashanasa Gehefker. Yush Beiza Hanosh. Explain here, how Lashon Horah comes from those who, I guess, the din of Lashon Horah is hefker by them, giving up on it. So let's see. Yesh, there are those shesibosanu mitzad hayerush, dahainu shayetzim mafatoisam. I.e., what does that mean? Says the Chofetz Chaim that the Eitzara convinces you, sheyesh shalish medini, that a normal guy, a worldly guy. It's impossible. It's just a din that's not possible to keep. I remember in the old days, in the yeshiva called Or David. I used to. There was a time when I said here, Chofetz Chaim, and like a boy said to me, so what are you supposed to talk about? And I said, just think to yourself, like what you just said, that if you have nothing bad to say or derogatory, then you really have nothing to say. I think you need to do some soul searching or something. But unfortunately, that those who are new at this type of find it a problem. So he says that there are those the Yitzhak convinces us it's an impossible goal, mission impossible. Unless you the only way I could do that is to find a little hut on the top of a desolate mountain and be alone. And I can't do that. I'm part of the real world. I'm a businessman. I'm interacting with people constantly. And they even find a proof. Because the Gemara Baba says Kulam Lashon Horah, that everybody transgresses Lashon Horah. Kain Hey Misyashim Legami Shmiras Zeo, and therefore they give up totally on watching themselves about speaking Lashon Horah. Be'emazoi Tos Gedoyos. Says Chofetz Chaim. It's one big mistake. Dim Kain Lomativ Satarel Zebulei Tasa. If it's impossible to keep, why would the Torah give us a los say? That you're not allowed to speak Lashon Horah. If it's impossible, we know Akash Baruch Hu and Akash Baruch Hu's not coming to catch us, to trip us up, and he wouldn't give us something that we can't do. The Torah looks like right? If it was true, then it should have been like good midas. Come on, shamidas kadosh, that apply to individuals, but to general Jew, it shouldn't be written if this is true. And we know that Akash Baruch Hu is not Bob between says so. It's certain that Akash Baruch Hu created the person, gave each Jew the ability Shemrak Yosem Ein of Liba Drochav, that if he takes out some time to watch what he says, what he sees, Yuchal Izor Mizeh, he could protect himself. Sifri, Pashas Hazinu, as it says in the Sifri, Kel Emuna Veinov. Shaloi Bara B'nei Adam Dias Rishayim. On this pasuk, the Sifri says, Akash Baruch Hu didn't create people to be Rishayim. El Yes Tzadikim, Perish, parentheses, the Lav Hachi, Yesh Chas V'Shalom Ova V'Chukai. If Akash Baruch Hu created people to be Rishayim, then there is Ovel in Hashem's ways. And the pasuk says, Kel Emuna Ve'ein Ovel. Right? There's punishment for speaking Lashon, and if Akash Baruch Hu created people to be Rishayim, then it's wrong to punish them. Continues, added a parentheses. Says the pasuk in Koheles, Asher also Akimas Adam Yosher, Hashem made man straight, honest, good. V'hema Bikshu Cheshbonos Rabim, and it's the people who find all kind of cheshbonos, because they isa betanchuma, pashas bereshis, medrash tanchuma, bezel l'shoinei. There it says, she'osa l'kimas adam yosher, loy barak hashbaruch hu shenikra yitzadik v'yosher, Kosh Baruch Hu, who's called Tzadik V'Yosher, to not create as Adam B'Tzalmoi, El K'dei L'Yos Tzadik V'Yosher. This that Hashem created us B'Tzalmoi, is that we should be like Hashem, Tzadik V'Yosher. No, it's not a Rosher, which means that I could keep the mitzvah. Same time, Alama Bar the Yetzer Hara. Shekosaboy also embraces Kietzel Adam Raminu Rav. Well, if Hashem wants us to be Tzadik V'Yosher, why would he even create the Yetzer Hara? And the pasuk says that Yetzer Leva Adam Raminu Rav. Adoema Shahura. Mi yochel asis toiv. If you're saying that he's Ra, so who could do good? Amakosh Baruch Hu, Atosiso Isora. You're the one who made it Ra. Tina Kavas V'loy Chatosa. You were a child and you didn't sin. Skadalta V'Chatosa. Perush explains the Chavis. What does this mean that you were a teenager and you didn't sin, and now you got older and you did sin? Perush. This is in brackets. The person brings the Yetzer Hara on himself through his actions. Akash Baruch Hu gave us the ability to rule over the Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara, we have the power. But Yetzer Hara Yeloi B'Bechidas Eved. And then the Yetzer Hara will be your servant, the Sayel or Beis Inyanim Mitzarech Tachliti, to assist you in, he doesn't say where, but to assist you in reaching your tachlis kakosav atot timshol boy. As the pasuk itself says, you could rule the Yetzer Hara. Ksiv mefanik minar avda. V'dayma havadron become a drum coaching yesh boilim yosim Yetzer Hara more mimen. He says there are more difficult things in the world than the Yetzer Hara. V'atem amtikin ois. And you're able to sweeten it. Enocham mar minat termisim. There's nothing more bitter than this. There's a vegetable called a termisim. And va'ata, the way you prepare it, so it should be edible, va'ata shoike the sholkon, you cook it, v'lamticham b'mayim sheva pomim. You have to cook it 7 times. And after the 7th time, shumotoik. But you're willing to do that. In order to prepare this vegetable, you cook it 7 times. These are bitter types of vegetables. He says, so if there's the things in the world that I created that are bitter, and you sweeten it, you go through the process, you process it, so that it should be good for you. It's also be a that's in your hands. This is the words, I guess, of the Medrash Talmud. Says the Chafetz Chaim, same thing is true here. If you do take note of your actions, you make a decision. Watch your mouth. They only speak when it's necessary, and not to use it for driving and saying bad things. Certainly, you will be able to watch yourself. And someone who tries to do good, so he's assisted. Chazal teach us that if someone wants to be a tzaddik, it's interesting. Kosh Baruch Hu sends him a malach that acts with him b'derech tzaddik. He doesn't tell us where this chazal is, but if a person wants to be a chosid, Kosh Baruch Hu moislei malach shemisnaigim b'derech chosid. So they misayeh you if you just want to. Umashamu chazal. We have the Gemara. I quoted a Gemara. It says "Ukulam b'Lashon Horah." How do you explain that chazal? Says you stopped at the wrong point. The Gemara ends off saying "B'Lashon Horah salkadaitach." You think it means Lashon Horah? That's what the Gemara means. Ela ema, when the Gemara said "Kulam b'Lashon Horah," it meant avak Lashon Horah. It didn't mean outright Lashon Horah. It meant avak Lashon Horah. And even in reference to avak, the Mashra on that Gemara writes, the Mashra Amar Kulam, when it says everybody, Hainu Rakshem Adam Leiten Einav Libel Diburai V'Niach Oisal Tivoi. That's only true if you're on your default setting. If you don't take note to watch what you say. You just talk naturally. Then yes, then everybody will speak. But as the Chofetz Chaim said, the Gemara already said, we're not talking about speaking Lashon Horah, we're talking about speaking Avak Lashon Horah. Well, then the Maharsha says, in such a case, if you don't stop to think and watch yourself, then certainly you'll stumble. Even if you go naturally, there will be times when you won't steal and you won't be over arayis. Lashon Horah, it's true, the Gemara is saying, that if you're not careful and you don't watch yourself, you will speak Lashon Horah, shu totally be diburoi. Avaloi kivnu chazal chas v'shalom. Chazal didn't mean to say, sha'adam la yuchal linotze kalam avak Lashon Horah, you can't protect yourself from avak Lashon Horah. Can't be. Vayin b'akdam sh'b'yanu darazeh be'aruka. He says, take a look in the Hakdama that I explained this in greater length, Hakdama of Sefer Chofetz Chaim, that certainly a person can watch himself and protect himself from speaking Lashon Horah. And the Gemara's intention just was, if you don't, then naturally, with the flow, you'll be speaking Avak Lashon. Okay.